This, by far, is the most common reason as to why people have left the church. It encompasses so many different life reasons, life circumstances, that in itself it has become a general statement. So let's take a look into the different life situations that many of you face, that many of you have faced, are facing, and see why you exactly have left the church and why you should come back. Relocation is a big deal. Almost everyone goes through it at some point in their lives. Relocating from another church after you've gotten really situated, really comfortable in it, can be hard. It can be difficult. But think in the same vein when you relocated from your house or from your state, wherever you were living before, or whatever you're doing in your life situation, how hard it was to make those changes. You had to make different friends, you had to find different stores, you had to just find different gym memberships, you had to find a different place to get your hair done, you had to find a different auto mechanic. There's a whole list of different things when you move, of all these different things and just places that you have to get reaccustomed to. You have to learn new streets, you have to find different things for your kids or for yourself. But after all that, why does finding a new church fall at the very bottom of that list? The longer you wait to find a new church, the harder it's going to be. However, if you had a really positive experience in your last church, I'm sure that a part of you is starting to, by now, miss it. I'm sure a part of you is really starting to long after that connection you had with those church members, the people who would stay up with you and talk with you for a while, the people who would text you late at night. And so if you are, then seek a new one with that same fervor, that same passion as you do when you're trying to find just a local grocery store or something really simple like that. There's a good chance you're gonna have to do some church shopping for some time, and that's okay. And a good way to decrease that time in which you're trying to find a good church for you and your needs is to pray about it. It's to ask God for a church that'll suit all your needs. However, this might not be the real reason as to why you've left the church. Relocating might be a convenient excuse for some time, but after an extended amount of time, if you still haven't returned to church, there might be a deeper, more real reason that's hindering you from going back. Marriage, children, divorce, death in the family, any of those. Leaving church for any of those reasons I just mentioned might have been unavoidable for obvious logical reasons. Similar to moving, there's a good chance that many of you may have had to make a lot of lifestyle changes revolved around that related disruption in your life. Perhaps you decided to leave church or just had to avoid church for a time because of the trauma surrounded around a very bad divorce. Maybe you just had a newborn child, or you got married to someone who doesn't attend church, and so your church attendance and your desire to go to church has waned. Whatever the circumstance, you suspended your relationship with fellow believers. How has that impacted your life? Maybe it's time to rediscover the priority of the church. This time, make a decision that's right for you. Find the right church that'll welcome you back, because you'll find that the right church will help you manage all these life changes, these life problems, better than you ever could by yourself. The tradition of just every single thing shutting down on Sundays is now a distant memory in this day and age. If you do have activities or just different responsibilities you have to attend to on Sundays, like you have kids or you have work or anything that encroaches on your time at church, on occasion you'll find that you decide to skip church just because those things take precedence over church. And so eventually, over time, it becomes a habit until eventually you just kick church out of your schedule entirely. So what do? The good news is many churches nowadays have services on Saturdays as well as services on Sunday nights. Most have midweek Bible studies, prayer groups, fellowship groups, many things. Most churches offer more than just Sunday or Saturday services because they know how tough it is out there to be someone who's just trying to make it along, just trying to make money, just trying to survive. And so they want to cater to you because the church is there for you. It's not there for themselves. They want to help you. They want you to stay in contact with the people you've built relationships up with. And so they offer just a range of different things and activities for you to do. It's interesting how certain demands in our life cause us to say yes or no to certain activities. How we spend our time, though, is a direct correlation to what our priorities are. The choice to make church a priority is a personal one, and one that only you can make. Any change we encounter in our life, we always have two options. whether not to change and just stay and do what's easy and to stay what we know and to stay comfortable with the decisions we've already made, or to face that change and to change with it. For example, imagine going back to the gym or starting up a new exercise routine. You're much more likely to stay committed when the lack of energy, illness, or even obesity, which all stem from your choice to go back to what you're used to, the lack of change, causes you more pain than the change of actually going to the gym and exercising. It's the same thing as to when you decide to choose a more healthy diet, or when you're trying to change your financial plan to something more beneficial to you, or whether you're trying to choose to spend more time with your family than at work. Think through why church is no longer a priority in your schedule and how this choice has kept you away. Think through your schedule. I promise you there's a church out there that completely caters to your schedule and has different activities, whether it be Bible studies or prayer groups throughout the week, or church services that aren't necessarily on Sunday or even Saturday. There is a church out there for you, and I promise that if you continue to pray about it and ask God for it, He will deliver that to you. Jesus wants you to experience His love, and the easiest way is to go to a church where Jesus' love is just prevalent in every single person.